Tech news. It's the tech news show, and here's gonna be some tech news today, and you're gonna watch it every single day. I mean 3 times a week. It's time for Techlinked. What in the mother-loving F is Intel doing right now? Last week they announced their 7nm processors would be delayed, which is sad, but turns out it's more than that. The company's chief engineering officer, Dr. Murthy Renduchintala, I did my best, is leaving the company in the wake of the announcement, and his division is being split up into 5 parts run by other Intel executives. A law firm has started an investigation of the delay that could lead to a class action on behalf of investors who are accusing Intel of defrauding them. It's some wild stuff, but even more questions are being raised about Intel turning to TSMC to manufacture chips instead of making them in-house. TSMC isn't building out extra capacity for Intel's orders, leading some to speculate that Intel is trying to take some of TSMC's bandwidth away from AMD in a last-ditch attempt to afflict Team Red with the same supply shortages that have plagued Team Blue.
I drink your milkshake.
Exactly, that's very applicable. If the plan works though, partnering with TSMC might just be the shot in the arm Intel needs.
I drink it up.
Since Intel's 10nm and 7nm processes are apparently similar to TSMC's 6nm and 5nm processes, respectively. Turns out it's kind of hard to differentiate between nanometer scale things, like 10nm, 5nm. Which one is which?
They're both disappointing to your mom!
Oh no! Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, Jeff Bezos, and Tim Apple.
Walk into a bar.
And you'll never guess what happens next. They're the CEOs of Facebook, Google, Amazon, and Cook, respectively, have been, at the time of writing, in a congressional hearing for 4 hours to answer questions on their company's monopolistic practices. Yesterday, the CEOs each released their opening statements, saying, of course we're not monopolies. Look at all the good stuff we're doing. We're using renewable energy. Come on. Sundar faced questions about preferential treatment in Google's search algorithms. Jeff got grilled on Amazon's tendency to harvest seller data and use it to create competing products. But Mark maybe had it the worst. He always does. The House committee got their hands on some of Zuckerberg's emails, which basically show him talking about the decision to buy Instagram specifically because they could compete with Facebook, which is illegal. TikTok, meanwhile, who are facing government pressures of their own thanks to the fact that they're owned by Chinese mega giant Tencent, took the opportunity to publish information on how the platform's algorithms, moderation policies, and data handling works. See? China's platform isn't evil, it's those American ones that are. Actually, I'll take option C, all of the above.
Wait, they're all evil?
Always have been. It's the meme.
It's this, oh, that one.
You know, and for some specific evidence of Google's, maybe not evil, but general suckiness, they just forced a company that they bought to brick its own products. North, the company behind the Focal smart glasses, announced their acquisition by Google last month. North was working on Focal's 2.0 at the time, which was canceled, fair enough, but Google apparently also decided that the first iteration of Focals that's out there in the world right now will just stop working after July 31st. A statement by North says users won't be able to connect to their glasses through the app or use any features, abilities, or experiments. The app will also be removed from the Play Store and App Store. Now, Focal's owners will get full refunds for their trouble, but it's definitely a weird and seemingly unnecessary step for Google to take, unless they're planning on launching new AR glasses of their own soon, which maybe they are. Oh, I'm gonna pre-order those ASAP. I love you, Google, and your products. What's that I hear? A sweet whisper from myself? Now it's time for the quick bits, brought to you by Tradestation. Look, you can give a man a fish, or you can teach him to fish. Well, Tradestation is doing both. If you want $50 and to finally learn what making money with money means, Tradestation is one of the top brokers to let you do just that. They make it easy to trade stocks and cryptocurrencies anywhere with their award-winning mobile app and desktop app, Tradestation 10. Are you starting from scratch? Learn to trade. Are you a seasoned veteran? Give yourself a refresher. Tradestation's commission-free trading means you keep what you make. So give it a try today and they'll give you $50 when you fund your new account. What the heck? It's like a 10% return for doing almost nothing. Get all the details at tradestation.com/promo/LTT. Thanks, me! It's Quick Bits time now! Konami, the video game developer, has announced a line of pre-built gaming PCs exclusive to Japan called Aries Pair? Spear?
Arasepeya.
However you pronounce the name, they're ridiculously overpriced at about 2 times what you would pay for a similar build. But I guess if you're like a huge Konami fan, I guess this is what happens when your heart and soul leaves.
This is a conundrum.
Hideo Kojima. Christopher Nolan's Tenet will get an international release on August 26th rather than waiting for the US's COVID management to improve. The movie's set to release in America on September 3rd. And in addition, AMC and Universal have announced an agreement that will shorten the amount of time that movies have to play in theaters before being released online to just 17 days, down from the previous typical exclusivity window of 70 to 90 days.
17 is very specific.
I know. Where did that come from? It's a clue for Tenet. Figure it out. Sony has released the heavily anticipated A7S III mirrorless camera with the capability to shoot 4K at 120 FPS with only a very slight sensor crop. It's also got about a 3 times reduction in rolling shutter, and its ISO range goes up to 409,600, blowing even its low light champion predecessors out of the water. It's also $3,500 for the camera body, which is $400 cheaper than its closest rivals, the Canon R5 and Panasonic S1H. Are you excited, Andy?
I'm buying it.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Wow. So if you've been making sucky videos, definitely get this thing. It will make your videos better for sure. Brandon did a short circuit on that, right?
Yeah.
Go watch it. A German company called Electric Brands has unveiled an EV camper van very reminiscent of Volkswagen's retro Eurovan called the eBussy. And that's how I'm going to pronounce it, even though my brain wants to go another way with it. Did you see how it's spelled?
You mean a butt?
Don't. While the modular concept looks cool, we've only seen renders so far, and I feel like I know exactly how the naming process went. Well, it's sort of buzzy and electric, and so eBussy. What is the problem? Gabe Newell, who is currently hiding from the pandemic in New Zealand, where the virus has been largely contained, said on a Kiwi TV show that he prefers the Xbox Series X to the PlayStation 5. He wasn't forced to elaborate, so he didn't, because he's Gabe Newell. So for you PC gamers unsure of which side to support in the console war, you have your answer. Your Lord hath spoken. And I'm done speakething today, so come back on Friday for more tech news, at which time the spakening will resume. And there will be tea and crumpets. I don't know what crumpets are, but they sound delicious.